Hey coaches, so today I'm going to be talking to you about kind of planning out your week and your days. I think one of the biggest struggles for coaches, especially those who are in the Superstar Boot Camp, is kind of figuring out where you need to focus your time. And I know we're throwing a lot of information at you guys, and you're doing such a good job at kind of retaining it as best you can. But we also want you to understand that a lot of this stuff is not stuff that you need to implement right now. It's for you to have, to put in your bank of knowledge as a coach with your experience and bring it up whenever you need to use it. So when we show you guys these things, it's not to overwhelm you and make you feel like you should be doing everything right now. It's for you to maybe get some light bulbs going off in your head thinking, okay, that would be perfect for me to implement now. And then maybe this other thing is really awesome, but I shouldn't implement it until I have kind of mastered some other things. So you have to find out what your priorities are. And to be honest, everything that we teach you is amazing, but you can't get away from the daily actions that are going to get you the results in the long run. I know we're showing you guys a lot of shiny things within this boot camp and things that you want to do right away, but we also want to emphasize that you guys should be focusing on those daily things and not distracting yourself from that, because I found as a coach when I was first starting that I would go towards all the shiny objects like making YouTube videos and things like that before I was actually even inviting anybody, because it distracted me from doing the thing that I feared. I didn't fear making videos. I actually enjoyed that. I didn't fear making graphics and cool posts and spending hours manipulating the wording just perfect. And that distracted me from actually sending messages to people and following up with people. So today I'm going to simply talk about the things that you need to be doing as a coach day in and day out. And some of these things, are more for the diamond coaches and above. But a lot of this stuff you should be going ahead and starting to do on your own at the point you're at right now. So this is the daily action plan. But I actually want to bump down here to kind of show you. So I have a monthly business action plan, I have a weekly business action plan, and then a daily action plan. So on my daily action plan, each night before bed, I will go to this brain dump, which is basically the to-dos. So I brain dump the to-dos. And as this says right here, I want to write down everything that I need to do, even if I can't get it done tomorrow. So I'm thinking about tomorrow. These are non-negotiables. So those are there and you click them off whenever you're done. Now, this isn't clicking right now, but when you open this on your computer, you have an option to save it. If you have Adobe, you can also download Adobe on your phone. It's a free app. You can save it to your phone and just, redo this every day, or you can print it out if you're a print it out kind of person. And if you're really good at Adobe, all you need to do is have Adobe Pro, I believe it is, or no, Acrobat Pro. And you can replace all of this wording. You can add things if you need to. I'm going to share this with you guys because you guys are awesome. But if you want to change things, you can. So anyway, I go through here and I would write down everything that needs to happen. Now it's not going to show up because I don't have this opened and it's in a preview. It's not actually in any of my little platforms that will let me type in here right now. But I would type in here anything that has to happen. And so I'll write all those things down. And for me, I do now have an assistant. And if you're a diamond or above coach, I highly recommend going ahead and getting an assistant. Just the mere fact of her going in and just liking and commenting back on posts has saved my life. And as well as just telling people happy birthday. You would be surprised at her just telling people happy birthday, the people that I gained from that. So it's very worth it. So anyway, if it's something that I write down here and she could actually do, I'll just put her name next to it so I remember to tell her, because we can't do it all. You need to delegate some things. So I'll write down all the things that have to happen, whether they need to happen tomorrow or not. Anything that's on my brain that needs to get off right before bed, this happens. And then top 3 things for today, like I said, I do these all the night before, because as soon as I wake up in the morning, these are the first things I'm going to see. But I'm going to look here first. So top 3 things for today, you'll put those down. And then my frog to eat today. Usually for me, it's the one thing that I don't want to do that I know I have to do. And usually it's either replying back for somebody for the wedding, or, making a video for something that's going to take my time that I know I have to do. I want to eat that frog. Self-care. This is really important, and this is not optional. Now, I put self-care instead of like date night or time with your spouse, because some of you may not have that right now at this point in time. But I also think it's important to understand that even though, we just posted about the spouse stuff here recently, it's also important to take time for yourself. And if you're not doing that and giving yourself that time that you need, that's away from, your day job, or away from you as a mom, or away from you as a spouse, away from you as a coach, then you're really just not getting that me time that you need. So whatever that is, even if it's 10 minutes of a bubble bath, whatever it might be, for you guys, if it's going on a car ride in your car and just getting away from it all, whatever it is, just make sure you take that time for you and just you. Date nights are great, and I think that that's very important, and we do schedule those in Jason and I's weeks. But I think every day you should have time that's not a workout, it's not personal development, it's actually something that you enjoy. And you know what? Sometimes for me, it's basically just putting music on and listening to music for a while, and that helps kind of clear my mind and get me grounded. Now, these things over here are a little bit more specific, so I'm just going to zoom in over here if it'll let me. There we go. So recurring daily tasks. And so for these, of course, a lot of these things are like the power of fives, but I did add some extras in here. Now, this is just stuff that I do. You don't have to do these things. Like I said, you can make one of these checklists on your own. I just like the way that this is laid out. So invite 5 people to the next challenge group, invite 5 people to coaching opportunity, follow up with any open conversations. So instead of me just saying, I need to follow up with 5 people, for me, my task for the day is really to follow up with any open conversation that left with it not closing. So if there was not an answer, if there was no response, I'm going to follow up with that and try to get that closed door or move to the next step conversation. Email new orders or leads in the Coach Online office and schedule messages. By that, if you guys saw my streak training with Gmail, I do schedule messages to be sent out later. Like if it's someone who is a Shakeology lead, I have a series of emails that I want to send them. So I go ahead and message them, and then I also schedule messages to be sent at a certain point over the next month, so that I don't have to worry about doing that later because I won't remember. And it's really nice because then I'm like, oh yeah, they're emailing me back because I sent out a scheduled message on Sunday night, or whatever it is, and I don't have to even think about it. And then I say update tracking system for all conversations. So if I had any conversations on Facebook that day, I want to make sure that those conversations are up to date in my streak system that I use. But that could be any contact system that you use. Just make sure it's updated. Check in with challengers in challenge group. And I have these listed in kind of a hierarchy sense. The things that are most important are usually at the top. These are the things that I think are most important for me to be doing every single day. If this doesn't happen, big deal. I can do that tomorrow. If they aren't emailed right away, that's okay. And some coaches like to pick only 1 or 2 days a week to email their leads or new orders, but I like to try to do that every day. Sending thank yous to referrals, that can be an actual card, but sometimes I just send them a nice message through Facebook, and I just say thank you so much for referring them to me. And sometimes I'll say, I would love to send you a custom Etsy tank top from the store. Which one would you like to have? And just send them a nice thank you. And then you can also fill in some areas here for other things. Then on Facebook, specifically, add 5 new friends and update tracking system. Update tracking system for me, this can be for you too. I just like to write down anyone who I've added. I usually just make sure that I say the date that I added them. So then when I check back, if they still haven't added me after a couple days, I will go ahead and cancel that because I don't want that pending friend request to be on my Facebook, because you never know when they might crack down on that. And then reply or like comments on all of my posts. I try to do most of those, but I do have an assistant now that I try to, have her do that. Just check in once or twice a day. Don't feel like you need to be doing that all the time, or you'll be like haunted by red notifications. Posting 2 to 5 times a day. Engage with lists. So I make a list of friends on Facebook, and I'm not going to show you how to do that. Go to YouTube. I have a video about it. There's several coaches that have videos about it, but I group together my friends list on Facebook, and it makes it very easy for my assistant or myself to just go in there and engage with those people like crazy. So they start seeing more of my stuff. Something else that would be on here, if you don't have an assistant, I don't put it in here because my assistant does this for me, would be saying happy birthday. Like I said earlier, it's shocking how many people have come to me just from those happy birthdays. So I'm very thankful that she does that, and it helps tremendously. So telling people happy birthday. Coaches. So, and again, these are in hierarchy. These things are not as important to me as these things up here. Now, posting 2 to 5 times, of course, that is pretty important. But I'm going to be honest, I haven't even posted to my like page yet today. And it's almost 11 o'clock at night. I probably won't post, and it's not going to be the end of the world, because you know what? I had a lot of stuff going on today, end of wedding planning, and I'm making this video for you guys. And guess what? Tomorrow it'll be a story for me to talk about and say, you know what? Sorry, I was absent yesterday, but I got so much done. So that's not always going to happen, but if it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You just want to try to be as consistent as possible, because I'm sure there's people who did notice that I did not post today, because they do look for my updates. So for coaches, I just want to check the team page or the training page that I'm currently doing at that point in time, just to make sure there's no fires that I need to put out anywhere, and if there's any questions that need to be answered. And then follow up with coaches. That is, if other coaches in my downline or other coaches in the organization have sent me messages, that's my time to follow up with them. And really, I do a weekly check-in, so I'll kind of show you guys that here in just a second. General marketing, search and save valuable content. So if I see things on Pinterest, each day I want to make sure that I'm saving something, like, looking at people's posts, seeing if I see something that I might want to post later, and then schedule posts on like page. I try to make sure that I do schedule at least one post a day. So I lied. I think I did schedule a post today on my like page that was a video. But anyway, if there is one, I try to make sure I schedule something, and then monitor or create a Facebook ad. That's just reminding myself, if I did have one, I want to go back and check if it's doing well. And then you can put any other tasks. So that is a daily thing. So tonight, what I'll do is write down my brain dump of the to-dos that need to happen, and next to it, if it can be outsourced or if it can be delegated to Jason or somebody else, I'll put it, because you can't do it all. And then top 3 things that need to happen. Frog that needs to be eaten for tomorrow, and then what I'm going to do for myself. And then this is the weekly activity tracker or action tracker. When I zoom in here, I'm just going to show you. So I have each week where you can check these off. Of course, there's going to be a week 5, because sometimes there's more days in each month. So I just try to keep that on there just in case. So important business tasks. So Monday, National Wake Up Call, post that into the team page. You'll check it off. Monday, team call, 8 p.m., you'll check it off. And I put each day what's important. So Monday, check inactive coaches and send emails. And I will notify their sponsor if I feel like their sponsor needs to know. Monday, check volume, rank, placement for the entire downline. That way I have enough time to kind of fix it if something's up. I also check it, of course, on Thursdays. I check it as much as I can, but on the weekends, I'm not looking at that stuff. I'll look on Monday. Monday, also, I want to schedule any needed GSRs, coach check-ins for that week. So I usually know the coaches that I need to be checking in with, and I will make sure that we have it scheduled for the week. And then Monday, send out samples if needed. And Wednesday is when I check the Coach Online office early in the morning, just to make sure, because I normally check it on Monday and I want to check it again on Wednesday morning. Now, if I'm close to a qualification, I'll check it every day. But if it's not, then I'm not too concerned about being like a hawk watching it. But I do check for my downline coaches, especially if they're in rank qualifications, because there's things that kind of slip through. Um, and then Thursday, check Coach Online office for any new rank advancements, and post the recognition. I usually do that Thursday or Friday. Thursday, I feel like the news feeds are overloaded with the rank advancements, so sometimes I'll do those on Fridays. And then Sunday, check in, email, message to all challengers. Usually that's scheduled, but I will try to check in with all of my challengers on Sundays, and then send recognition to gifts to coaches. So those are all things that happen once a week. And then marketing and social media, scheduling posts for the challenge groups. I don't do that every week. I just make sure that there are posts that are scheduled. So I try to just make sure that for the week ahead, they are scheduled, the ones that need to be done. And then schedule posts for coach training groups or team page. Same thing. I got an amazing idea from Julie and her team. They schedule random kind of training posts into, or thoughts or positive vibes into their team page. And I've been doing that here recently, and it's so helpful. Just feeding your feed in your training, not your training group, but your team page is really awesome. So just sending reminders throughout the team page. So I buffer those. I use Buffer for my scheduler. And then schedule posts to my page or Facebook. Sunday or Monday, post a challenge group call out or a coach call out. I like to do those on Sundays and Mondays. It's usually when mine get the best reach. So I try to make sure that I do those at least once a week. Now, if it's towards the end of the month, sometimes I don't do that last one of the week unless I feel like I need to. Plan for the next week. So that's just going over the schedule for the next week, looking at obstacles and planning for those. Review the monthly team schedule. So I do create a monthly schedule for our team just so that everybody kind of has an idea of what they should be doing. I do have a team group for my personally sponsored coaches, and it's not just like a team training group. It's actually like a personally sponsored group. So I also have a challenge group for my coaches and their people that they want to add throughout each month. So I make sure that they are aware of that and that I'm aware of it. And then for each week, I try to make one new YouTube video to keep my YouTube feed going. Post into interest group and interact. So I go into dental hygiene groups that I'm a part of, anything that's a part of my interest, photography groups. I have a Canon camera, so I'll go in there and ask questions about my 5D and look at other people's equipment and ask questions about it and just start interacting with them. Like 5 new fan pages and comment on them as my page. That's something I just recently started doing, and it's become really helpful for me. So I will like other fan pages, of course, that are not anything to do usually with health and fitness. But say, Tony Robbins or something, there's different pages that I'll go and I'll comment on their posts or like them, and people will see that as my fan page or my like page. And you can do that as your personal page as well. And then removing any pending friend requests. So I do that once a week. I make sure if there's any pending that have been there for over a week, I'm going to delete those. And then monthly business action plan. I do have a place where I like to put my goals for the month, and I'll write those out. New projects to consider. I think this is important because we get so blinded by the shiny things. It's like my focus needs to be on only 3 new things a month. And if it's not listed here, then I can't do more than 3 new projects a month. So, there was one thing, I saw the idea of doing photo album training and just having a photo album within your team page with a graphic that says, okay, this photo album contains everything about all of our clean eating groups. And then it links to the clean eating groups and things like that. So I was trying to do that last month and I just didn't have the time to do it. So that was something that was a new project for me this month that I accomplished, and I was excited. Notes to self over here. And then recurring monthly tasks. So at the beginning of the month, checking Coach Online Office for the new specials. Of course, we usually get an email update of that. Sometimes, I think last time we didn't get it till really late. So I just want to make sure I post the new specials in the team pages, and then post new challenge group call outs. So I want to make sure at the beginning of the month, I try to get to Success Club as quickly as possible. That's my goal. I want to get to Success Club 10 in my first and second business centers. And then I want to get my mom's account to Success Club. And after I've done that, my focus shifts to recruiting and, training my coaches. So I try to get Success Club out of the way as quickly as possible at the beginning of the month. So that's why I talk a lot about the specials and call outs at the beginning, as well as getting my team to Success Club as quickly as possible so we can all focus on recruiting and training our coaches. So I want to make sure that if there's a monthly success prize from me, that my team knows about it so they can get excited. And then set up and run the new Coach Basics training, which usually starts at the beginning of every month. And then review my monthly team schedule, remove inactive coaches from the team page. I try to do that every month. Invite previous customers and challengers to 2 new months group. So I have been doing this and it's been really helpful, but I go through any of my existing clients who I still am in contact with, and anybody who's been in my previous challenge groups. And I don't care if they're on Shakeology. I don't care what they're doing. I just want to invite them to that month's challenge group, because I want people in the group and I also want them to restart their health and fitness journey. So often I'll just send them a message and say, hey, I'm getting ready to start up a new group. It's actually starting next week. I would love for you to be in it. And almost all of them say yes. And you never know when somebody was in a challenge group and it was like completely dead and they just didn't interact. And then they join this one and they decide, oh, wow, this group was really awesome. I want to be a coach too. You just never know. So I let people be in groups over and over again. And then this says plan a surprise gesture of kindness for at least one client. I will try to kind of, I guess, go outside of the box and not necessarily surprise, but I guess it is surprise, like make somebody feel really good that they wouldn't expect for me to do. So I had a client whose mom, and this isn't like a gesture or surprise, but her mother had passed away, and it was kind of sudden, and I made sure that I sent her a nice card and a little angel, and I thought that was really nice, a nice gesture to do, and it was totally unexpected for me, and it meant a lot to her. And I just made sure that she knew that I cared, and she was in one of my previous groups, and she reached out and let me know how much that meant to her. But I also do that with coaches too. If I see that they're going through a rough patch or things aren't going very well at home or at their day job or something like that, I try to make sure that I reach out to them and do something nice for them. And then review previous month's goals, events, etc. End of month tasks, create any new groups for the next month. So I try at the end of the month to make sure that my groups are already created for the next month, so I'm not scrambling to get those started. Schedule any challenge group posts for the next month. So I go ahead and look ahead at my schedule, and I say, okay, every Sunday I'm going to post a call out for my challenge group, or the first 2 Sundays of the month I'm going to do my challenge group call outs until I get to Success Club 10, and then my shift turns to I'm going to do a coaching call out for my sneak peek. So it just kind of depends. Schedule all of my, or schedule, sorry, this meant scheduling my challenge group posts. So I also schedule all of my challenge group posts in buffer for the entire month, so I don't have to worry about it. And that is heaven sent. So I'm never wondering if my post is going to be posted in there or what I was supposed to post. It's already scheduled. Same thing with training group for the team page, team training. So I do the same thing. But this is what I was talking about before I got here. Planning out my monthly call out schedule is basically every Sunday night. There or Monday night, depending on the week, I will have a call out for something. because Mondays and Sundays are my best days. Creating a team schedule for the next month and posting that team schedule into the team pages. And then a week before the end of the month, I check in with all of my personally sponsored coaches and downline coaches on their goals. That's something new that I was not doing a very good job of before, but I just started doing this, and it's helping tremendously with my coaches. Now, I don't do all downline coaches. If they have a sponsor who's working the business and I know that they are checking in with them, I'm not going to contact them. But if I see them standing out, I will send them a good job. And then check in with leaders on goals. This is something new I started as well. All the diamonds on my team, I want to make sure that we're checking in with each other on volume goals, and that's something new that we started here recently. And then posting any end of the month recognition, and then other tasks reflecting on the past month and positive accomplishments, setting business goals for the next month, and compiling any business expenses. So this is one file, and as you're updating it, you can just keep it on your desktop or on your phone or print it out. And this has been really helpful for me, and I hope that it would be just as helpful for you guys. So I will share this with you guys because you guys are awesome, and I think you guys deserve this, and hopefully this will help you a lot. Kind of figuring out what's best for you. Now, this section right here is the most important section out of everything. All of this, doing the brain dump, getting those 3 things out of the way that you don't want to do, that are the most important, and then the worst thing that you really aren't looking forward to, but you know you got to do it. And that does not include a workout. All that stuff's up here, so that doesn't count. And then self-care. All of these things are non-negotiable things that have to happen. But what's really cool is the next day, whenever you go to do your brain dump again, all you'll do is just keep the things on there that you didn't check off, because these are things that even if I can't get done today, they will be here. So that's what's really nice. So it'll be like, okay, that didn't get checked off. I'll just leave it there because then it's got to happen tomorrow. And it might happen that thing has to be here because now it's more important because it's the next day. So anyway, guys, I hope this helps you guys kind of get your days scheduled and your weeks and your months. And there might be some things that I missed. I tried to just go through my own brain of things that I do. But if there's something that I missed that you think needs to be on here, please feel free to let me know and I can update this because I'm totally open to suggestions because this was totally tailored to me. So if there's something you're like, oh, that'd be awesome if that's there, of course there's room for other things. But just let me know. All right, guys, I will talk to you soon. Bye.